a spit and sawdust gym, that's all it is.
Don't need glitz and glamour.
Just about sums up your love life, Phil. Swapping glitz and glamour for spit and sawdust.
You can honestly tell me that you don't fancy Linda? Or is it the pub that you want? Which old booze are you going to choose?
What are you two looking for?
None of your business.
A bit touchy.
Bit nosy.
She has enough on her plate.
Bianca Jackson's return to EastEnders brings surprises, including a new love interest. As she reconnects with the square, sparks fly between her and George's son, Junior. Meanwhile, looming dramas include Whitney's childbirth, Bianca's fallout with Whitney, and Tommy's attempt at matchmaking for Kat and Alfie. Get ready for some explosive revelations. Bianca Jackson's new love interest is confirmed by EastEnders following her return to Albert Square. Bianca Jackson has a new love interest revealed by EastEnders. Earlier this year, the character returned to Walford, where the plot revolved around the departure of Whitney Dean, her adoptive daughter. Junior, George Knight's son, arrives at the same time that she is returning, and next week's scenes will feature their inevitable meeting. George's family has advised him against fighting in order to overcome his troubles, but he has turned to underground boxing as a means to cope with his anger and guilt over a number of personal concerns. Gina tries to use extortion to persuade George to stop fighting, but her scheme backfires and chaos ensues as Elaine, Cindy, and Anna argue. After Anna leaves a message for Junior about their father's altercation, George is taken aback when Junior shows up to break up the argument. After the ordeal, the party returns to the Vic, but Junior quickly quits since he feels uncomfortable there and chooses to go to Peggy's instead. He runs across Bianca there, and the two end up falling in love and sharing a bed. Will there be awkwardness and conflict in the square as a result of this? Patsy Palmer played Bianca again 5 years after her last appearance. The actress recently shared memories of her time on the soap opera and gave a sneak peek at her next scenes. I was in awe of everyone when I walked onto the other lot because there was Pete Beale and Dot Cotton there, and I just remember feeling so surreal, she recalled. It always seems brand new, and you want to return there with an open mind. You never truly want to return here with the same perspective. I no longer think here the way I did when I left. Although it's a new experience, the location is the same. 13 massive spoilers for next week's EastEnders. Next week on EastEnders, Whitney gives birth, George meets his son Junior in person, and Nugget becomes entangled in Denzel's steroid narrative. Here is a comprehensive list of the most significant upcoming events. 1. George's concern for the Knights. When Elaine returns to the Vic, she is disappointed to learn that George is not at all upset by her leaving. Soon after, Cindy appears and tells his family that George is prepared to fight despite his prognosis, sending them into a panic. Gina attempts to use blackmail to get George to back down, but he refuses to give in. 2. George and his son get back together. Anna consoles Elaine, who is still inconsolable about George. Anna, resolute to take action, tries at the last minute to break up the quarrel and leaves her brother Junior with a message. Later on, George chooses to end the battle after meeting Junior face-to-face and is taken aback. 3. Amy takes a major choice. Amy grows envious of the developing bond between Denzel and influencer Ebony. Amy confides in Penny after deciding to sleep with Denzel, but Penny advises her to wait until she's ready. Amy requests to spend some time alone with Denzel upstairs at Denzel's party. 4. Bianca has left Whitney enraged. In order to get things for Whitney's wedding, Bianca asks Brittany for assistance. After Bianca is unable to negotiate a better price with the market vendors, Brittany quickly reverts to her previous behavior. Bianca and Brittany's efforts have thrilled Whitney, and the three of them share a touching moment while Whitney tries on her wedding gown. When Brittany unintentionally divulges information about her and Bianca's previous shenanigans, the joyous occasion is spoiled. Bianca's willingness to let Brittany steal has infuriated Whitney. She commands Bianca to leave her life and abdicates her of her maid of honor responsibilities. 5. Tommy serves as a matchmaker. When Alfie's hormone therapy comes to a conclusion, Kat throws a celebratory dinner for him and the boys at Walford East. Tommy asks Alfie whether he wants to reunite with Kat after observing his conduct towards her during the meal. Tommy tries to act as a matchmaker between his parents after realizing he might be correct and brings the twins home. 6. Lauren battles keeping her secret when Lauren gets to Whitney's. She saves the day by getting her buddy something to wear to her hen party. When Whitney asks Lauren to be the maid of honor after their falling out, Lauren is shocked. Although Lauren agrees, it's obvious that she and Zach are still overcome with remorse. 7. Yolanda and Patrick decide how to leave. Levi tells Yolanda that taking a vacation with Patrick won't cause her research to delay, so she decides to do so. Denzel has other plans, despite Yolanda's assurance that Denise or Chelsea will move in with him while they are abroad. Later, he begs Yolanda for permission to demonstrate that he can be relied upon to support himself. 8. Amy is heartbroken. Denzel tries to sleep with Amy, but due to the steroids, Denzel has trouble. Denzel tries to hide his humiliation from Amy, insulting her in the process, while she tries to console him about what transpired. Nugget tries to cheer Amy up when he finds her in McClunky's, but he misjudges the situation and tries to kiss her. Penny takes Amy's later quietness for flirtation, but when she realizes how sad Amy is, she starts to worry. 9. Bianca meets a new romantic partner. Junior feels uncomfortable at the Vic and makes up an excuse to leave. After arriving at Peggy's, he encounters Bianca. Before long, the two are returning to Bianca's, where they share a bed. 10. Bianca issues a directive to Lauren. The people of Walford are getting ready to dress up to honor the happy couple Whitney and Zach on their sten-do. Whitney gets irritated that Lauren is portrayed as a saint but still hasn't forgiven Bianca. Bianca, tired of all the falsehoods, gives Lauren a deadline. Either she informs Whitney that she had a sexual relationship with Zach, or Bianca will. 11. Nugget discovers some harsh realities. Penny argues that talking is the solution, but she still asks that Amy hold Denzel and Nugget responsible for their actions. Denzel ends his relationship with Amy after Nugget tells him he kissed her. After that, Nugget receives some harsh reality from Amy, which makes him question his friendships. 12. Whitney gives birth. Lauren tries to tell Whitney about her concerns about Zach, but she changes her mind at the last minute, under pressure from Bianca. Bianca shows up to comfort Whitney, thinking the truth would have come to light by now, but Penny steps in. Under false pretenses, Penny entices Whitney and Lauren to the taco van and locks them inside. As Lauren gets ready to spill the beans, the tension amongst the girls is broken when Whitney's waters unexpectedly burst. 13. Nugget takes a troubling choice. Following an embarrassing encounter with Ebony and a run-in with Penny, Nugget is still doubting his friendships. Later, erroneously believing that steroids will solve his problems, he begs Denzel to give him some. Is Dean Wicks departing from EastEnders? In the most recent episode of EastEnders, a significant turning point in Dean Wicks' tale was shown. After being arrested on suspicion of killing Keanu Taylor and abusing his daughter Jade, Dean is presently incarcerated. While viewers are aware that Dean did not kill Keanu, they are also aware that for weeks, he had been messing with Jade's medication, with disastrous results. In this Thursday's episode, which you can watch on BBC iPlayer right now, Jade, Dean's adolescent daughter, finally showed her father's true colors and left Walford. In the previous episodes, Jade has been discussing whether or not to pay Dean a visit in jail before moving to Pakistan. Jade hesitates for a while before deciding to meet Dean, and Jean goes with her for the uncomfortable encounter. After being reunited with Jade, Dean adamantly maintained his innocence regarding the medication tampering and Keanu's murder. Jean became worried that Jade might be beginning to trust his ranting as a result. But Jade started to make mistakes when he tried another strategy to get Dean to tell the truth. Then he confirmed that he had indeed tampered with Jade's prescription, leaving her upset. After telling Dean just what she thought of him, Jade permanently turned her back on him. Afterwards, she bid farewell to her pals in the square and left to meet her mother Shabnam in Pakistan. While this was going on, Dean sat in his cell, feeling dejected and thinking about life without Jade. Although the executives of EastEnders are keeping quiet about whether this is the final time we will see Dean, fans have always assumed that this is not the case, especially since he managed to flee and end up as the unidentified Christmas death victim. Rewinding a little bit, Dean was first drawn into Keanu's murder case when Stacy saw a chance to finally get him out of Walford. After Sharon Watts' arrest and the discovery of Keanu's death last month, Stacy, Linda, Kathy, Denise, and Suki had to act quickly. When Stacy discovered that Dean had been acting sinisterly towards his daughter Jade, she resolved that he would pay a price for his misdeeds. Later, she set up the murder weapon in his kitchen, and Johnny used a burner phone to write out a fictitious witness statement that Suki would present to the police, accusing Dean of being involved. In spite of this, Linda took the decision to act independently and give the six her all. She went to the police station by herself and provided them with a made-up narrative that portrayed Dean as the main suspect in Keanu's death. Linda was adamant that on Christmas Day evening, she had witnessed Dean lugging a bulky object into the cafe. She went so far as to describe the tarpaulin that had been used to cover Keanu's body. Linda stayed composed and argued that she couldn't let her closest friend Sharon be arrested for a crime she hadn't committed when the police began questioning her about why she had first hidden this information. She also expressed to the police her extreme fear of Dean, who had sexually assaulted her 10 years prior. The police arrested Dean after hearing Linda's confession, and he was carried away in front of his distraught daughter Jade. The police investigated Dean's flat and found the murder weapon Stacy had planted while he was down at the station protesting his innocence. It was also hinted during the interview that Dean's departure strategy with Jade might be utilized against him, given that he hadn't reserved a ticket back home. When the authorities continued to tell Dean that the meat thermometer that had been found in his house suited the description of the weapon used to kill Keanu, Dean was appalled. He was subsequently formally charged with both offenses, and he has been incarcerated ever since.